We are back answering your questions on the child tax credit with Scott Braddock Financial, and Ryan Dodson from Liberty Tax Services. Guys, thanks so much for being here. Someone texted us asking, I've been getting less last month for my child tax credit and now even lesser this month. Why is that? Ryan?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind, Chad, is whether or not they've had a reduction in the number of children that they filed on their tax return. Or if possibly they opted out. Those are the main two reasons I would know why you would get less on your, less for their credit. If it's not one of those two things, then I suggest they give a phone call to the IRS to find out, the reason why.
And just realize it could take a while to get through on a phone call to the IRS, but it sounds like that's your best option at this point. Scott, someone texted us wondering, I would like to know how to track my tax credit for my kids.
Right, so you can track those payments. I did notice, I stumbled upon an article today that says that if you don't receive your check by automatic deposit, you want to give that a few days before you try to follow up on that and track it. If you've been receiving your check by mail, you want to give a little extra time. Mail has been running behind a little, and so for that mail check, you want to wait at least 4 weeks before you follow up with that check. Now there is a portal on which you can go ahead and track that. Ryan, I'm going to lean on you for the name of that portal.
You can go in and get a transcript of your taxes, and in that transcript they will report everything that is and has occurred, and part of that portal, part of that getting that transcript, they will report how many advance payments you've received so far.
I'm going to continue on with Ryan here for this question. So will we still get a child tax credit for next year?
So the $3,000 for 2022, that has not been decided yet, to my knowledge, by Congress. I know that was in some of the most recent legislation. However, nothing has been passed right now. So right now, as everything is scheduled to do, everything is supposed to drop back down to $2,000 in 2022.
Scott, someone's wondering, how can I receive child tax credit? My baby was born on May 5th of this year.
Okay, so the IRS, of course, would have no idea that you have a child because everything's going to be based off of the last year you filed your taxes. So what we want to do, and I'm assuming that you filed, this person filed their taxes prior to May and didn't go with the extension. So what we're going to have to do is either complete a modified return for this year, or I believe the best option after that would be to wait until you file your taxes for next year. And again, that touches on taxes, so I'll let Ryan make sure that I'm accurate there.
Yeah, so to file a tax return to claim a child, you have to have a valid Social Security number for that child. And if you didn't receive it this year, by all means, you're going to receive it when you file your tax return.
Ryan, someone's asking, are September payments still coming out?
My understanding, Chad, is that most September payments have already been sent at this point. If you have not received one, that's either getting into the portal and taking a look to see what has been sent, or if it has been returned by chance, or contacting the IRS and following up with them. So,
Scott, someone says, I opted out of the child tax credit, but I'm still receiving checks. What do you recommend I do?
Oh, that's interesting. There again, it looks like there possibly could have been a glitch in the system when they went to that portal to opt out. I would just backtrack and revisit and make sure all the information is correct there. Also, keep in mind, if you're married, both you and your spouse need to opt out. If just one of you opts out, you're still going to receive a partial payment.
Yeah.
Ryan, did you want to add something?
Yeah, Scott was exactly right. If only one of you opt out, then you're still going to get half the payments that you're supposed to get.
Scott, very quickly, what would you say is the biggest misconception that you hear about the child tax credit?
Okay, so one of the biggest misconceptions is I find that folks are comparing this enhanced child tax credit to the stimulus package, and this is totally different. However, they are similar in the way that we're not going to be required to pay this money back. We're not going to be required to pay taxes on this money either. The big difference, however, is that this is a credit. This is a child tax credit that typically, as Ryan mentioned earlier, is $2,000. However, the enhanced portion is what we're taking advantage of now through these monthly payments throughout the rest of this year.
Ryan, if you can fit a misconception in 15 seconds, go for it.
Misconception is that, look, if you're not supposed to claim a child this year, you need to get in the portal and tell the IRS not to send you any advance payments, because you will pay it back when you file your tax return.
A lot of good information. Ryan Dodson, Scott Braddock, thank you so much for being here as always and for your expertise.